Are you insecure? Convinced, against all rational thought, that your story hooks are boring, that your ideas are trite, that your campaigns are bad? Well, I can't really fix you, but I can tell you you're wrong. Your ideas are fine. They're simply raw, as Gordon Ramsay would say, and unfinished, like this piece of wood. You know, when creating your scenario, your ideas should follow the same process as my sanding and oiling. You should go from coarse to smooth, then add thin layers of varnish, of refinement at a time. Therefore, start with coarse ideas, simple and easy to grasp ideas. Their job is to prepare a clean surface to be further refined. Someone has died or gone missing. A plague has broken out. What about a party being framed for crimes they didn't commit? How original. Never been done before. But I'm telling you it's fine. When's the last time someone invented a whole new piece of furniture? We've got tables, chairs, cabinets, the whole shebang, but nothing new comes along. We just take the same things and transform them, reimagine, give a new layer of varnish, give it a new, slightly different shape. Same thing. Coarse ideas for now. I'm telling you, no one will ever judge your ideas as lacking before you could even further explore or define them. Just the same as no one will look at me holding a stock piece of wood and ask, why is this not a chair yet? That doesn't happen. Therefore, let's stop worrying and let's start refining your ideas. And if you don't have any, I'll give you one. Let's take this classic story hook as an example. The deadly plague. There is nothing wrong with it, or with the cult that spreads it and hides in an underground lair that you will invariably access through either the sewers, sometimes the local tavern's hidden trapdoor, or maybe, if the GM is feeling fancy that day, through the mayor's office behind a hidden door in the wall, or maybe it was the priests all along and the entrance wasn't the church, right? That about sums it up. What a classic, how unexpected. But there's nothing wrong with it, no. We can improve upon it, however, with a finer grit. Right, in this dubious metaphor of mine, our sandpaper grits are ideas that pertain to the plot hook itself, whereas the layers of oil or varnish that come later will have to do with player actions and enemies and consequences and so on. Anyways, we refine our plague by adding characteristics, let's say 3, perfectly fine number. What we want here are unusual facts that will pique the player's interest. They don't need to be coherent with one another. They don't need to be clever or subversive, though they can be if you desire. They just need to make the players think and get curious and invested. That's it. If you've... Oh, by the way, players, if you're listening, please leave. Leave this to your GM. This is a secret between us. Don't spoil things for yourself. Are you gone? Alright, GMs, if you've hosted any number of games before, you will know that players are incredibly good at connecting dots that were never meant to be connected in the first place. Players, I know you're still here, you're listening. Yes, you do this. Don't even try to lie. That always happens. You connect things that were never meant to be connected in the first place. So we will play with you today. We will use that and simply throw things at you. Here are my 3 such things concerning the plague. Number 1, the plague originated in the northern towns, skipped the middle farmlands, and started infecting the southern towns without warning. Suspicious, right? It's a good start. It's interesting. Where are we going with this at the time of writing this script? I had no idea. Number 2, children are infected much more easily. Oh, how dramatic, children dying. But also recover at a much greater rate. Ah, thank God the children aren't dead. But isn't it interesting? Now, is it the most curious or mysterious fact? Probably not, but it will get players thinking and start considering their options. And then number 3, tens of different cures have been found to work, but each time only for a small number of people, and what works in one town often will not in the next one over. Now that is super interesting. What could this mean? Do you see, suddenly, it doesn't matter if the Cliche cult is the culprit, or if it can be found in its Cliche lair, accessible through the Cliche sewers, because that cult is doing some very interesting things, and the players are bound to be hooked. Let the players investigate, let their imagination run wild, indulge in their wild ideas, and let that inspire you. Steal just a bit of it, not whole cloth, because that would be pandering, that would be cheating. That would be just giving up and saying, yes, players, whatever you say goes. That's not how it works. But you steal just a bit, just enough to make them think they were so close. And you combine what you steal from them with the ideas you had before, and you are therefore ready for a last round of fine sending, in which we settle on a unifying explanation for our curse. One which explains each fact we've come up with previously individually. Now that is a matter of preference, but I prefer to do it that way personally, and here's why. If you try really hard to come up with a convincing, interesting explanation that links all of our previous facts in a relation of cause and effect, it's really difficult. But also, it's most likely what the party was doing. What you want to do is be able to surprise the party by saying, okay, so you were considering all your information, and you were trying to make sense of it. Which one is the cause for which other one? But no, it turns out all the information they had, all of these facts that we laid down for them, were consequences of a larger problem. And then it's like springing that surprise on them. It feels really great. And in that vein, here is my explanation to these facts we've laid down before. The plague is one, but it also isn't. The connection between gods and mortals is disrupted, and has been for a while. Not many know this, but the cultists sure do, and they have found a way to redirect and amplify the power of belief which was left unused. If people believed themselves infected, then they were, and if they believed themselves cured, then they were. Whew. Oh my god. Did we just create a masterpiece? But I thought all we had was a Cliche cult and a Cliche lair and a Cliche sewer, but we did it. The plague skipped the middle farmlands because there was nobody to propagate the rumors of a plague that they would be infected by, and therefore could not be infected. The kids would become infected so much more easily because they're gullible and they're naive and they're pure. But if Uncle tells them they'll be alright after drinking that soup, then they're cured because they believe Uncle. And of course, the cures and solutions would change from one town to another because that is the nature of rumors. Through space and time, oh my god, we are geniuses. But this is just sending. We're only halfway through. What happens when we oil this baby? I'm never saying this again. Anyways, take a look at this beautiful cat while I recover mentally from what I just said, and we'll be ready to take this plot hook to the next level and transform it into a proper storyline. Alright, so we've got a solid start, an interesting premise, curious players. What are we going to do with this? Well, we're going to blow their minds is what we're going to do. And we're going to be able to do this because our plague, our plot hook, has depth. What does this mean for the plot hook to have depth? It means that there is far more than its direct solution that is at stake here. And this is where the layers of varnish I kept talking about come into play. Each individual layer is essentially a consequence or an implication of this plot hook reveal that we'd had previously. But the more questions, the more layers of varnish we explore and pile up, one at a time, I should say, the shinier and the sturdier your story will be. Alright, what does this mean in context in our example? even if we are to take for granted that we can stop the plague by killing the cultists, which is not a given in any case. But even if we were, the party is left with so many pressing questions. Why is the connection between mortals and gods severed in such a way? Are the cultists responsible for this? Or are they just surfing the wave, so to speak? What if they're simply trying to fix the problem and they're hiding away in that underground lair because they think if everybody knows, it will be abused? Okay, let's rewind for a minute. If the cultists know that this connection is gone, how do they know? And who else knows? Who else is influencing belief? Am I being influenced as we speak? What if the plague is simply an unintended consequence, a mere symptom of something going on an even grander scale? What do we do from now on? Do we care? What is the party going to do? Is it going to do anything? Is it going to abuse it and keep the information for itself, making themselves famous, spreading rumors of their might, therefore becoming mighty? Are they going to warn the authorities? Are they going to go on a quest to find a MacGuffin or 5 to restore the connection between mortals and gods? My friend, the possibilities are endless. All you need is half an hour in a shower or doing the dishes, or maybe a bit of sport if that's your thing, just letting your mind wander and roam free, and you will have more ideas and clever twists than you know what to do with. Alright. Well, I have yapped, by my estimations, far longer than enough. This has been Bruno from Neutral Dark Studios, developer of the Foglands TTRPG. I gotta do the plugs, they tell me, so I'll do them now before I forget. Yeah, this is me in the video. I am a professional woodworker and fine cabinet maker. So I thought it would be cool for you to see what I do. If you liked it, be sure to tell me, because this is taking hours and days of just recording as I work and of editing. I'm not a professional editor, so if nobody likes it, I'll stop doing it. But if you like it, I enjoy sharing one of my passions with you guys. If you have any questions regarding TTRPGs, my own D&D, anything regarding this video, you can ask it directly here in the comments or on Discord. I am mostly active on Discord because that is the nature of a woodworker spending hours per week sending. I have a lot of time to talk to you guys. It's been me. Bye-bye.